Hi, I'm Sophia, and today I'm going to be talking about my long-distance relationship and the 3 things I generally break down when explaining my long-distance relationship. I live in California, and my boyfriend lives in Massachusetts. So we are 2.5 thousand miles away from each other, and because we are both students, we generally can visit each other every 3 to 4 months. There are 3 things I like to break down when people ask me about what it's like being in a relationship, and that is communication, failure, and overstimulation. So the first one is communication. The only thing we can really do on a day-to-day basis is talk. Whether that be texting or video chatting or just talking on the phone, all we can really do with one another is talk. It's a pro because we are very open with one another, and it's a con because you miss this kind of silent intimacy that can come with a relationship, in terms of I can't necessarily sit in silence with my boyfriend and just hold his hand, or we can't hug things out after an argument. The second thing, which seems odd as a title, is failure. And I say failure not because long-distance relationships in general are more likely to fail, because that's actually not true. There is no statistic that says long-distance relationships are any more likely to fail than close distance or normal relationships. Failure because everyone in my life expects this long distance relationship to fail. So when you have everyone in your life preparing you for a failure that has yet to happen, it can get exhausting. We'll find myself having anxieties about things that won't happen until I'm applying for college, or that won't happen until I move out of the house. So failure not in the sense that the relationship is going to fail, but that everyone expects the relationship to fail. The third thing I want to talk about is overstimulation. That seems weird because that's not something I think people talk about in high school relationships, but it's the biggest reason I see relationships in my school and with my friends fail. Because when you go to school with someone, or when you see someone every weekend, you're spending every minute of time you're with that person. And it seems a little silly to talk about, but once you think about it, it's hard to talk about your day with someone who is there with you. And I tell him about my day and he tells me about his day. I wasn't there. I can't say, oh yeah, I remember that, or I don't know what he's talking about when he's describing certain places. There's this whole level of depth that comes from the fact that we don't spend every second of every day together, which I think is the reason a lot of high school relationships burn out, is because you run out of things to talk about because you were there when those things happen. One type of relationship is more likely to fail than another. These are my thoughts and my ideas and opinions from what I've seen at my school with my eyes and my friends. Kind of takeaway that I want to come from this video, especially when it comes to the idea of expecting a relationship to fail. My relationship is not your relationship, is not the relationship you see on TV, is not the relationship you read about in a book in the 7th grade. I'm totally happy to keep talking about my relationship if any of you have questions or comments. I hope you learned something, or at least enjoyed this video as much as I enjoyed making it. Thank you very much.
I'm here without you, baby, but you're still on my